It's now been over a decade since Square-Enix first showed off Final Fantasy Versus 13, and I don't even remember if it was before or after the PS3 launched, but if it had released, it was very early in the PS3 lifecycle. Now, over 10 years later with our rebranding, we finally got Final Fantasy 15 on PS4 and Xbox One. First, I just want to say that I've been a fan of this franchise for almost 20 years now, with 7 being the first Final Fantasy game I ever played when I was 8 years old. The game single-handedly made me interested in story and characters in games, which before that it was more about the gameplay, and pretty much only that. So when I play a Final Fantasy game, I mainly look for the character development and the story. Of course the gameplay and music is a big part of the classic games, but for me it was a story that made me come back time and time again. But was it worth the 10+ year wait? And should you buy Final Fantasy 15 for a current price? Let's find out. The story is rather short, and if you haven't watched Kingsclave or the 5-part anime series, then you will probably not understand much about the story, or the characters, since that's where you get most of the character development for this game. In my opinion, if you can't flesh out your characters in your game, and rather make prequel movies and series, then you have kinda failed as storytellers. Because I have not seen the movie or the series yet, and I still almost know nothing about the main characters in the game. The story begins when the main character Noctis is driving to get married with his fiancée Luna. Yes, the main character of the game has already gotten the girl, and the only dialogue you get between them is flashback scenes from where they were children, and even those are very short. So basically Luna and Noctis got next to no chemistry, since they don't talk in this story. The only thing you know about them is that they were getting married as a part of a peace treaty between the big bad empire and Crown City, which is the good guys. With Noctis you got 3 other party members, or his bros, since that's basically what they are. Gladiolus is the butch gym bro guy, which is hassling Noctis non-stop about becoming better, and that is pretty much his entire character, and you don't know where he's from or why he's friends with Noctis, since the game won't tell you. The 2 other characters, Ignis and Prompto, pretty much got the same treatment. Ignis is kind of snarky and uninteresting looking. He also got glasses, but other than that you don't know anything else. Well, I guess he kinda like a mentor to Noctis, but it comes off as snarky to me. Prompto is the hyperactive person in the group. He is kinda like Cell for Final Fantasy 8, just toned down, which is good since I really hated Cell. The group is also constantly making fun of him. The only difference is that the game actually gives us info about where this guy's from. I won't spoil it here though. And that is our main characters, ladies and gentlemen. Noctis is also a pretty boring character for the most part. His responses are mainly whatever. He's kinda like Squall from Final Fantasy 8, just less interesting. Yeah, I didn't like the main characters of this game much. And even the side characters like the big boobed Cindy got more character development than the main characters. And the main reason she is in this game is for fan service. The overall story arc is that the Empire is betraying the peace treaty, going to war with Crown City, and there is of course someone lurking in the shadows like all the other Final Fantasies, that is the true bad guy. You will pretty much figure out who this person is the first time you see him or her, since he or she isn't dressed very inconspicuously. Plus the trailers pretty much spoil that the character is the main villain. Thank you, trailers, I guess. The motivation isn't very clear of the bad guy either. We know that he got a grudge against the kingdom and all, but we never got a clear answer why, which again is lazy writing. There's so many characters and sections of this game that isn't explained properly. Like one part of the main story that Gladiolus will leave the party because he got some stuff to do. Then later when he comes back he got another scar on his face. You kinda get interested in what he was doing while he has been gone, but it's never mentioned again. So overall the story is confusing, badly written, and the characters aren't very fleshed out. Not to talk about the main story being very short. If you only do main story missions, you can probably finish up this game without any problems in 12 to 15 hours. Well, except you would probably be underleveled. Also the voice actors is a little bit hit and miss. Like the voice acting for the bad guy, and Luna is kinda distracting me for some reason.
So, you found your way here.
Okay, I have ranted about the story for a long time now, and don't get me wrong, I pretty much liked everything else about this game. The main focus of this game is the world and everything you can do in it. There's literally tons of side quests and side content in this game, like fishing, chocobo races, taking photos on special places, monster hunting, a pinball minigame, and watching a monster arena where you can bet on who's gonna win. There's probably more that I have forgotten, and at least some of it you will enjoy. The side quests are pretty simple though, and it kinda gets uninteresting after doing it for a while, since most of them is go over here and collect these things for me, or go over there and kill these monsters. That is pretty much all the side quests. Yeah, it kinda feels like you're playing an MMO. Some of the side quests does have some semi-interesting storylines though, and like what I said before, some of the side quest characters are more fleshed out than the main characters. No, I will never let that go. It's total bullcrap. Just like any other Final Fantasy game, the graphics is beautiful, and the world is really interesting. There is also pre-rendered cutscenes, kinda like the PS2 and PS3 games had FMV cutscenes, and these scenes are just breathtaking. Some of them actually gave me goosebumps. The music is also pretty amazing. It's not Uematsu amazing, but still amazing. I'm pretty sure that the same people that did the Kingdom Hearts games made the music of this game, since it's pretty similar in many aspects. Another huge thing about this game is the car riding. The world is big, and I mean big, so riding a car is pretty nice. The car mechanics on the other hand is garbage. There is no real reason to drive the car yourself, since you're pretty much on rails anyway with next to no freedom, so you just let Ignis drive. There is also option to fast travel to towns and parking spots that you visited before, as well as fast travel to your car or the last spot you rested. This really made the experience a lot better for me. When you have a long way to go for your next main or side quest, you can go there without needing to drive all the way over there again. The problem is the loading screens, since at least on the Xbox One the loading screens were horrendous. Some of them lasted over 2 minutes. I actually counted. You can also customize your car if you're interested in that, and you can make your car fly later in the game if you do some side quests with Cindy. For me, the car riding was just fine. The beautiful world and the fact that you can listen to the classic Final Fantasy soundtracks on your radio made the experience pleasant. If you like to go faster to your quest point without using your car, then you can rent a chocobo, which you can also customize with different colors and level up to become faster and get more stamina. There is a day and night cycle in this game, and in the nighttime the enemies turns into something called demons, which are harder enemies than usual. Before you get special lights on your car, then Ignis doesn't want to drive in the night, because of the demons that can randomly appear in the road in front of you. Last thing to talk about is the battle and menu system. The battle system reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, just a little bit more realistic in a way. You only control Noctis, but you can, by pressing the L1 button, do special attacks with the other party members. You can also dodge attacks by using the X or square button, depending on which console you're playing on, and sometimes you get to parry the enemy's attacks by pressing the B or circle button in the right time. If you want more strategy, you can turn on wait mode, which stops times whenever you stop moving, so you can select targets, etc. You can also gain AP sometimes in battles, and you can use that for getting better stats, new moves, better magic and a lot of other things. How we get levels in this game has also been revamped from the past games. You gain experience from killing monsters and doing quests like most other RPGs, but how we get levels is a bit different. You gain levels from resting at camps spread around the world, or lodges and inns. When you rest at the inns and lodges, you get more experience than you would in the campsites. But when you rest at the campsites, Ignis makes food for you. That gives you stat boost for the next day. You can also eat food in cities and towns, but then you gotta pay for it. Ignis can also learn new recipes from eating at restaurants, or going around the world collecting ingredients for his cooking. There is also magic and summons in this game. Magic can be collected by campsites and random location in dungeons. You drain these magic rocks into magic flasks that you can use 3 times per flask. You might think that only being able to use it 3 times is a bit too little, but magic attacks in this game is really strong, so I would save it for harder fights. The summons and summon battles is truly breathtaking, even though the battles against some of them is only quick time events, and not very tough. The few times you will be able to cast summons, however, will more or less win you the fight depending on which enemy, of course, because they are bigger than ever, and their attacks are pretty damn huge. In summary, the story and characters aren't much to brag about, but the world of Final Fantasy 15 is huge and beautiful, with tons of side quests and side content to have hours of fun with. If you only want a story in a Final Fantasy game and couldn't care less about the side content, then this game might not be for you. Well, you can always just select easy and roll through the main missions of the game. But if you do that, I would take a look at the movie and the 5-part series first, since I've heard that really clears some things up and gives the characters a lot of more development. I used about 37 hours to complete this game, and I was motivated to play right up to the end. But I wasn't really motivated to do more when I was done. But with that said, should you buy Final Fantasy 15 for the current price? This is kinda hard, but if you like side content and side quests, then definitely yes. If you like a good story and character development, then watch the series and movie first, then figure it out. I didn't really enjoy the story though, but for everything else, I can recommend it. But that's all for this really long review. It took me a long time to play, write, voice and edit this review. So please make sure to click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment your thoughts of Final Fantasy 15 in the comments and check out my full blind let's play here. See you next time in the next video.